My name is Effi Fuks-Leichtag, and I'm the Chief Product Officer of Next Insurance. I oversee the product management, design, data, and AI initiatives at Next. I've been at Next for 6 years, and I've been lucky to be able to see it growing from a really small startup to one of the leaders, if not definitely the fastest growing small commercial insurer in the US.
So for those not familiar with Next Insurance, can you elaborate a little bit more, give us a sense of the scale and the growth and anything else you can share that's publicly available and not confidential?
Of course. Next Insurance is the digital-only insurance company in the US, and we provide tailored, affordable coverage for small businesses in the US. We leverage technology, data analytics, and our own method to really simplify the process of buying and managing insurance. We're offering policies like general liability, workers' compensation, commercial property, cyber insurance, professional liability, and many more. But we provide all of them online and within a few minutes, which is, I would say, disruptive to this industry. Our mission essentially is to help small business owners thrive and make insurance fast, easy, accessible. And we currently serve almost 700,000 small business policyholders, and they all can buy and manage the insurance online or through their agent partner or embedded with the leading payroll companies. And as you probably know, recently we signed a definitive agreement to become a part of the Ergo Group. Ergo Group under Munich Re is Europe's largest insurance one of Europe's largest insurance companies and operating globally, which will be strengthening their global reach and long-term stability.
Okay, so today we are talking specifically about how the insurance industry is innovating to help better serve small business customers. You touched on some things that you're doing that's a bit different, but what about the road ahead? Like, what are your key priorities, let's say the next 1 to 2 years, that's going to address this potential opportunity to grow further and address the needs of your customer base?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll divide my answer to two parts. One, when it comes to core insurance capabilities and appetite, and two, the use of AI across our insured value chain. On the first one, we had great success scaling with construction, fitness, and food and beverage categories. And we believe we created some sort of a playbook that allows us to scale to more and more sectors and industries. So we see ourselves growing with the same playbook, providing great coverage, great insurance, when unbeatable pricing to categories like professional services, retail, and many more coming very soon. So that will allow us to ensure that we can provide leading coverage with fully digital solution to a broader customer base. And two, we're also going to be enhancing our offering to upmarket customers, allowing us to deliver fully digital, multi-location, multi-state, multi-policy support, which is unique in the industry. Right now, if you want to buy a small commercial insurance, it means often stacking policies. It means doing complicated stuff through an agent, and we will allow to do that seamlessly through our app and portal. When it comes to AI, that's something I'm really excited about and focused on in the past year or two. We have started implementing AI across our entire product line, and we've seen success essentially everywhere that we've tried it. A world where sophisticated chatbots support customers via chat and email 24/7 is already our reality. It is playing a significant part in how we support our customers, how we handle claims, and we see ourselves expanding this year in the upcoming month into phone use cases, allowing to talk in a seamless way with a AI persona to help you at a Friday midnight claim or urgent servicing needs. But it doesn't only end there. We utilize AI underwriting to completely change how we think and increase our ability to better predict customers' risk and write them within seconds rather than going through a lengthy process through a human underwriter that happens in the industry. And additionally, we identified numerous additional areas where claim processes are now extremely expedited due to our implementation of AI.
Okay, so When doing research for this article, one thing that kept coming up as a concern among small business owners is the increasing cost of premiums. For a lot of reasons, premiums are more expensive now than a few years ago. Thinking about that for a second, what are you doing to address or alleviate those concerns to help the customers with their cash flow, help with affordability? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. I think we need to separate increasing costs to two factors that exist in any insurance company. One are what I call the uncontrollable cost of insurance. This usually is being affected by global changes such as climate, inflation, and increasing cost of, let's say, litigation, medical, etc. These things is what I like to call an uncontrollable cost. This will happen in an industry, and that's not something we can relatively affect, and it influences us and our customers. But the second part, well, it's what we call the controllable cost. It is the cost of servicing, salaries, the cost of the insurance company to provide you with that assurance and the ability to pay claims. That's why I believe companies like Next, companies who go digital only, companies who really observe AI into the core fundamentals, can really reduce that part to assure that premiums stay competitive. So I believe that the first one is a factor of how the world spins, and that's what insurance companies do. We attach to the global economy and its trends. But on the second part, I think that us being digital, us observing AI, us like really making things seamless can really make everything much more affordable to our customers.
And do you also offer premium finance?
We don't offer premium finance for the basic reason that since the company started, we are offering monthly payment of insurance. So if a customer buy insurance and cancel after a short period of time, that's fine. That's how we essentially do the premium. More than that, we have increased the ways to pay to our product in a way that convenient to every small business, from credit, debit, ACH, and soon we will launch more alternative payment opportunities such as Apple Pay, etc., just to make things convenient. Yeah, that's essentially how we operate. I do believe there's many carriers who offer only annual or even more than that a policy, and they send the customer or embed some sort of a payment loan solutions. That's not how we operate. We believe small businesses need that flexibility and that ease of use, and that's something that also sets us apart.
So you kind of already touched on some of these aspects, but what do you think are some of the most unmet needs within the small business consumer category when it comes to buying insurance products today?
Yeah, great question. One is availability. Quite often, we realize that small business insurance, they don't buy insurance out of a deep thinking of a necessity as much as a need came in, such as a COI has been requested by a potential customer of theirs, some sort of a compliance regulation meeting for loan or banking reasons. In many cases, it's things that they occur. They're about to sign a lease. They just hired their first employee, workers' comp plays a role. We try to meet our customers. Well, someone on the other side tells them, what about your insurance? At that moment, they have sometimes minutes or 30 minutes. We've seen cases where we have a subcontractor in a job site about to start the work. They don't have a certificate of insurance, and they can stand with their phone when it comes to Next, and within 5, 6, 7 minutes, depending on the profession, just hand the certificate or email it directly to the site manager. It's really relevant in construction. We've seen cases where a restaurant is signing their lease and about to start working on the facility, and they being asked for insurance. And that's where we meet them. And our ability to provide that within minutes is actually supplemented by the strong AI underwriting capabilities we have. Well, we really try to increase the accuracy of knowing the business while decreasing the effort on the business. Many insurers will demand certificates and payrolls and a lot of documentation in order to pass underwriting. We make it super easy when we can. And lastly, when it comes to us, is our ability to really use AI and signals that are not used by industry to really figure out, who we're dealing with to ease that process again and tailor it to the category. A personal trainer is not a welder, is not a taco truck, and is not an accountant. Each one of them has different risk signals, different questions, and they should not be bothered by signals that are irrelevant for that category. So tailoring to really the what I like to call the sub segment of the industry to know the right questions so we can underwrite better is really our strategy and where we try to meet them.
And you mentioned that you kind of started out going after specific verticals, and over time you're adding more verticals or industries. Can you just like walk me through the thinking there? How did you decide which one to start with, and what is the logic for who to pursue next?
This is a wonderful question because sometimes it's not the same playbook every time. Um, from one side, you can look top down and look at the most, the industry is well documented and well mapped, and you can see the larger TAM, right, the total addressable market of a segment. So you look at it from a premium perspective, you look at it from a loss ratio perspective, you look at it from how hard or easy it is to underwrite that category. And at the same time, we actually look at the leads that we either see from our direct channel, so literally customers who come to us and we decline, or you see areas where we see a lot of growth, but not necessarily the best underwriting, the best premium, or we get feedback from our partner agents. We work really closely with the best agencies in the United States, and they tell us, we love you, but we don't write you for that category. Can you please improve your underwriting, let's say for taco trucks, to use my example of before. At that point, we have a group of product managers and insurance product managers. They try to dissect and understand how can we write it in the next way, which our rules are fully digital, as fast as possible, with superior underwriting, and then we basically try to figure out how to write this industry as fast and easy as we can. We really question core fundamentals that are supposed to be, legacy decisions in the insurance industry, and really ask ourselves, do they really need this coverage? And if we see a consensus it's not actually being used, why burden the customer? Take it off. What question do we need to answer? What out of those questions can we actually find online using our AI team and our AI underwriting team? And then we partner with relevant data providers. You can assume telemetry, we can assume payroll. Those companies will strike those deals, and then we build what we call the product. The product is essentially the digital way to sell this insurance to that category. At that point, we will release the product, we'll get feedback, and there's going to be a lot of short feedback cycles that will allow us to accelerate.
You mentioned using data from third parties like payroll providers. Does the insurer have to opt in for you to access that data, or is this something that they've already in a previous engagement giving anyone access to look at their will, or how does that work?
Of course. Actually, when it comes to payroll, I love, a few years ago, we acquired a company called AP Intego. It changed this business to become what we call Next Connect. That allows every business in the United States that work with the leading payroll platform. I'll just name just a few because it's a long tail. Intuit, QuickBooks, Gusto, Square, and the list goes on. Those businesses run their payroll on those companies. In many states in America, workers' comp is mandatory by law to be accompanied with workers' compensation. And those platforms embedded us as a insurance provider to basically offer workers' compensation to those businesses. Now, because we have validated real-time payroll data, we can be highly competitive, either through Next as a carrier or our partner carriers, to provide insurance that is affordable and it's pay as you go, meaning in months where payroll has been low, those businesses will pay lower premium, and when it's high, they'll pay more, which will save them a lot of time and hassle and also cash flow throughout the year. So that's essentially our customers not only opt in, they essentially buy the insurance through their payroll provider. At the same time, they can come to us. Eventually, we'll refer them to the payroll partners, or we can do it without a payroll connection in cases where the customer chooses not to. So yeah, it's definitely opt in.
That's good to hear. So we talked about how you internally think about innovating and how you also partner with third parties. For all those fintechs or insurtechs or payroll companies out there that might want to also work with you, how do you sift through the universe of potential partners, and how do you decide who you partner with, I don't know if you do investments in these partners, or maybe decide to emulate to do something else in-house? What's that process like?
Essentially, we like, I think it sounds like a cliche in the tech world, but I was quite surprised to see that the insurance world is not necessarily running the way. Not all insurance companies run the way we run. We're a customer centric company, and it's easy to say but very hard to execute when you need to balance, loss ratio. You need to balance a lot of moving. There's the financial element plays a large role. um, and what we try to do is to figure out what will help customers choose us by getting great, simple, affordable alternative insurance. And any partner that can assist us with that, we will definitely do business with. If it comes to distribution, as I mentioned earlier, meeting the customer at the point of need, that's something that works really great on our partnership side of business, also known as Next Connect. We have partners such as LegalZoom, who told us, they really have a shared mission with us to help entrepreneurs thrive, and they telling us a lot of our customers reach out to us looking for general liability insurance, which is a very common insurance to acquire right after establishment, where LegalZoom is doing a great job. So we embed with them and we find a way to partner. Similarly, like I mentioned earlier, payroll companies do the same, and so forth. We see more and more partners coming to us saying, my customer asking me for insurance. How can I make it really easy? And usually those partners, um, they come with one request, which really echoes our mission. How can I do it very seamlessly within my flow in a way that the customer doesn't have to be send, to a third-party carrier with a very long process that takes days and weeks. There's an immediate gratification and sometimes an immediate need that needs to be satisfied through that platform. And it really meets our mission. When we sell directly or when we sell through our agents, one thing we has a principle in the company, we write and bind the policy immediately. If we can't, we will decline. We do our best through the process I mentioned earlier for that not to happen. Um, and I think that's how we vet partners. Similarly, data providers, right? There's a lot of digital data providers. There's things in the world of property, there's things in the world of auto, there's providers in the world of business financials. If they can do that in a way that is compliant, the way that is fast, the way that is accurate, that allows us to provide that experience to our customers, we definitely want to work with you.
Okay, Effi, thank you very much. I appreciate your insight and look forward to following your journey ahead as you innovate more to help small businesses stay competitive and insured correctly and affordably.
Thank you so much, Krista. I really enjoyed talking to you.